like we say in the Caribbean. Hello to everyone who is tuned in or who's just tuning in. If you're just locking in, welcome to another episode of Cacoa. It's a Sunday evening here in Toronto. The sun is still shining bright outside because, you know, when the weather is getting up to or closer to summer, we have longer summer days, which I appreciate because it gives you a lot of time to do a lot more stuff, a lot of more outdoor stuff, especially since you hibernate during the winter. But we're here and look at her checking out herself and flexing her muscles. My guest is here. My guest is on with us. I was just eating some popcorn.
I know I wasn't ready.
Yes, you're ready. So I'm just eating some popcorn. So I might have some corn on my teeth. So don't feel no way if you see me like trying to like figure out what's going on in my mouth. But how we do on the show, we like to get a little bit, wait for the viewers to come on, get a little bit of interaction with the viewers, and so then
I'll see who they are though.
Yeah, they will definitely say who they are. They'll say hi. You'll see their names. You'll see. They might tell you where they're from. If you have fellow people coming on, they'll also see you and be able to say hi. I just wanted to let everybody know I am so tired today. Like, it's not even funny. Like, I don't know if you can see it on my face, but I'm super duper tired. I stayed up late trying to edit last night's show, which I still didn't get to finish. But anyways, that's another story. But we're here today and I have an amazing guest here with me, all the way from Trinity to the Bone. Yes, she's in the house. And we're getting ready to start off another episode of Cacoa. I just want to remind you guys, if you missed the show, don't worry. You can always go on my website later on and, in 24 hours and actually listen to the live show on my podcast. And that is on, that's www.jaeljoseph.plog.com. So you can always just go on there. Again, let me tell you, it's jaeljoseph.com/plog. Correction. So yeah, so you can go on there. My guest, all of her social media handles are above. So if you click above, you will see all her social media handles. You can follow her on Facebook, follow her on Instagram. She's doing her thing. And we're getting ready to get started. We got a few people coming in. Anthony Badwill says, hi, Anthony. How you doing? Hope you're having an awesome Sunday. And of course, just keep coming, guys, and interact with us. You have your Cacoa tea?
Me?
Yes.
That's how you pronounce it? It's
yeah,
not Coco?
No, I pronounce it Cacoa, you know? That's our Dominican way of pronouncing it.
Uh-huh. All right. Well, yes, I have.
What you have a brown mug, eh?
I have a brown mug. It's very generic. Just kind of whatever. And it was in the store, so I kind of pick it up. Because I like, no, it matches my deco, actually. It matches my deco. These kind of neutral. Yeah.
You like the earth tones?
I do. Because it matches everything.
I used to be like that. I loved earth tones for the longest while. And now I'm more black and white. I'm just like black and white and gray. A lot of that going on.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yes. I love it. Gray.
And there's a gray in the background. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I'm more that kind of gal now, and I like the black and white and gray because I can put any punch of color in there. Like I could put the teal green, or I could put the mauves. I could put the yellows, like the bright yellows, and it looks just the same. As it just looks great, right? So we're getting ready to get started. My guest is here, and we're gonna get rumbling right about now. Krystle, who joins me in Trinidad, she's actually in Trinidad right now, is a bikini athlete and a fitness model for Trinidad and Tobago Bodybuilders Federation. She started her passion for fitness in 2008 and has since competed in the sport of bodybuilding, bikini fitness category A. That is the Class A category. She took first place in her first local show that was back in 2016. And she showed a lot of great potential for presenting. That's TTBBF. In June of 2017, she placed first and also took the overall competition title for bikini in the more advanced local competition that took place back in September. That's last year. She gained second place, and she actually plans to compete on a few different competitions coming up soon. Her first international show, the Ben Wider Legacy Cup, was held in Toronto. That was October of last year, where she placed seventh amongst, let's just say, a lot of females from around the world. She's been featured in the Trinidad Express newspaper. She constantly shares her experiences in the fitness world. She writes recipes for the Trinidad Guardian newspaper. She's also currently sponsored by the renowned supplement brand Allmax. Her local sponsors within Trinidad and Tobago consist of Hub Box Grocery and Fitness Apparel Limited. I think she might be rocking something from Fitness Apparel. Yes, look at that. Look at that.
Always have to rest, for sure.
And she will be representing Trinidad and Tobago on an international scale. She has a few competitions coming up this year. She'll tell us a little bit about that. I'd like to welcome to Cacoa Tea for the very first time, Krystle Khan. Hi, Krystle.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Besides the fact that I'm a little tired, but tired never stop nobody, especially where I'm concerned. But you look lovely.
Thank you. Thank you.
I like to start off the show by telling folks how I know my guests. And being a fitness model, probably they might look at me who's pleasantly plump and say, how she know her? They know where she know her. Well, I met Krystle. We were doing we both did aesthetics at the same school. And I met Krystle the first day of class. I remember we had to introduce ourselves, and we had to introduce ourselves using a poem or a song, and she sang, "I'm a little teapot, short and stout."
Every time you come late, whenever you come late, she would make you sing a song. So yes. The only song I could think of off the top of my head. So I just did it, and then it got to the point that I wasn't even late, and she would be like, "Chris, you have to come and sing the song," and I'm like, "But I'm not late though. I'm here." So
that song would cheer up the entire class. So we really appreciate you being the little teapot for the entire duration of our aesthetics course. However, Krystle and I were not the only two full-blown West Indian. When I say full-blown West Indian, everybody's mixed with something in Toronto because that's how it is. So you might have like a parent who's from this Caribbean island or the other. But Krystle and I were both like representing our countries. So she representing Trinidad, and I'm Dominican. We're in a school in Canada with a bunch of Caucasians, and we could not at some time we just clicked because we could relate to each other.
Islanders have to stick together for sure.
Where music was concerned, we stuck together, and Krystle was doing her program faster than
I. Why don't tell about the cheating scandal?
Girl, I'm not even gonna get into that. Oh my God! Like, okay, so let's get into it. Okay, so Krystle was fast tracking her program, and I was doing half days. So I would work the other half of the day, and Krystle was doing her program for the full day. So she'd do the full day because you want it to be done quicker. Now, because we were so tight, like we would wait for each other at the bus, take the bus together and stuff. She would sometimes study together. Now, she would always have more notes than me because she'd get the notes from before. So she'd give me her test papers and her notes. And we'll be studying together and stuff. So here's what happened. So we had, I think it was a skincare class?
Exam. It was some exam. I don't know which one it was, but
One of the test papers.
so easy. I did the exam. I think I probably did well because I mean, oh gosh, it's like we were writing common entrance, so it was a real basic thing in Trinidad. So they gave me back the paper. So I mean, I give it to you, right?
Turns out the teacher gave the same test like the day after. And I had the paper because I was, of course, reviewing. Now, I made no secret because I wasn't trying to cheat or hold back. It was no secret that I had the paper because I was like, oh my God, like she gave the exact same test and I had the paper, and I ended up in the dean's office. And of course, little Miss Dominican had to plead her case because I was like, I was not cheating. I am not a cheater. I've never cheated in my life, right? You need to blame your teacher for being too damn lazy that she didn't want to.
Your accent. All you feel like so damn stupid. I can't do this exam on my own anyway, though.
Really?
You know what I mean? Listen. The education in Trinidad and the Caribbean is on a different level to Canada sometimes, I don't understand what it is. If you don't want that happening, what you give us back the test for? Right? And if you're going to give back the test, why are you giving the same thing the next day? You can't like change up the names of the people or something to make it a little different.
I didn't do that. And I was in the dean's office, and I was like, you're not going to label me as a cheater because I made no secret that I had the paper. That is even how you found out, because I could have shut my mouth and say nothing and do my test, you understand, and keep it moving. But I was just like, oh my God, like
it was fine though. I mean, they suspended me for like 3 days, but I just went to Trinidad and just had a great time and went back anyway. So I was just like, well, all right, it's fine.
Yeah, so we do have a really nice history. Krystle since went on to do she did other courses. You did the permanent eyebrow
the documentation,
and then you moved to the States did aesthetics in the States, because the States they do the big state board exams and stuff.
Actually, I never really ended up doing it in the States. I did go to do the exam, but I really didn't find that the sanitation standards were very, very low and strange compared to what we were taught in Canada. So I actually just pursued my MBA in management instead.
Yes. So I remember you being in Miami, and when I had my first son, Krystle was like down the street from me in Miami, which was like so weird. And she's like, I'm coming by. She came by, and it's funny because sometimes, you meet up with people in life and you lose touch, you go your separate ways. It's like, whatever. But we've remained friends, like not just friends on Facebook or Instagram. We communicate via WhatsApp. Krystle knows like every freaking Trinidad artist, soca artist there is. So if you're a soca artist and you're popular, Krystle knows. So whenever I'm in the same area code as a soca artist, I just ask Krystle who's there. She's like, oh, I go link you up. I go get you tickets. I go.
Oh my God, I know. Yes, it's pretty part of the whole like in the industry as a model. You kind of just end up at different events. And then I did stage management for a little while. So I used to attend a lot of different events with Synergy TV down here. So I got to know a lot of the different artists just from the interaction. And I had to yell at a couple of them, because if they weren't on stage by X time, I have to be like, yo, come on.
Really? Look at you. Little you, bossy.
And they'd be looking at me like, what the hell going on here? Like,
even most recently, when Kes performed in Dominica, Krystle messaged me and she goes, yeah, you need to check him, because he needs to get in touch with somebody on island and blah, blah, blah. And she like, we are communicating back and forth, and then he messages me, and then I'm like, Krystle, you are just a case and a half. When my boyfriend was working out in Trinidad, I think he attended when one of your things you were modeling for a band or something of that sort. So he attended and
Toronto?
No, in Trinidad. And then we linked up in Trinidad again when I visited Trinidad. So we've always stayed in contact. And I must say she's one of the people I can call my friends, and I'm so happy to have you here on the show with me today.
I hardly ever get emotional, but can I tell you, when that hurricane hit Dominica, listen, it broke my heart to see your video, and to see the video end up like going viral in Trinidad too. I was like, yo, that's my friend.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. And it was very nice, you kept reaching out.
Like that.
Kept reaching out and stuff. But I'm so glad to have you here. But you know what? I've told everybody who you are to me. Who is Krystle to Krystle?
I'm not really sure. I don't really like that question. Like generally, how do you answer that question? Because I have an idea as to who I think I possibly am. However, it's perception to other people. I mean, I like plenty stupidness, right? I'm like a natural born comedian at heart. I'm an entertainer. I mean, I take after my father, and I mean those that know him, and he likes to do his little Rasta videos to get his points across and whatnot. Yes, I definitely, as girly and thing as that might look sometimes. Trust me, I don't really know how to answer that question. How do you answer that question, really and truly?
Oh gosh, I want to know about little Krystle. Krystle between the ages of 6 to 16. What type of girl were you growing up?
I was a tomboy. I wanted to be a boy so bad that I used to dress like a boy and like play all like the boy sports. Like I used to fight. I remember a time I think me and my brother got into a fight, and like I ended up busting his mouth, and daddy was just like, yo, you really need to chill with this fighting. When I was that age, one of my best friends was this guy named Mikkel. Like he lived like the street next to me, and he and I used to sit down next to each other in class. But can I tell you, he and I used to be up to so much damn mischief. We always used to get licks. Back in the day when they used to let teachers beat children with ruler and thing, my hand forever sore. Yeah, I just really was just a very carefree spirit, very, just out and about all the time. But I just, I was always into sports. Just, yeah, I mean, troublemaker.
A tomboy and a troublemaker.
School daddy giving me like some for some shippiness I went intended. So I mean, I don't know. It was like raising two boys, me and my brother at the time. So
when you decided to go to university, give us a little bit of background about in terms of your university education.
Well, my bachelor's is in economics. I did that at the University of Western Ontario in London, Ontario. That was just so surreal because that is such a male-dominated program. Like I was always one of the few, let's say like 3 girls out of like 25 to 30 men in the class. Mm-hmm. So it was a very, very different experience to just have to be in such a little program like that. And I mean, to some extent, the guys wouldn't really like, they'd be kind of cocky with the information. They wouldn't really like help you out with these things, etc., etc. Mm-hmm. I remember a time too, I was doing an exam for microeconomics, right? The one that pretty much everyone hates because of all the mathematical calculations they tend to have in it. So I had this professor, I think he was like from Russia or something, right? So this exam now, like the whole entire class pretty much failed. Right? It was not bad. I don't know what kind of Russian maths this man decided to come with, but what he gave us in the class was not in that exam. So I went and I talked to man because I'm not taking that. Right? So he's like, oh, in Russia, we don't use calculators. I'm like, listen, this is Canada. Yeah, we use calculators here. So I don't know where you come from. No, we can't use no calculators. So yeah, so I kind of just let him have it. But
did you get
it was kind of nice. what was kind of nice about the program is if you get less than 65%, they would raise everybody's marks because they had to maintain a 65% average, unfortunately. So if you do well, everybody's marks get brought down to maintain this stupid 65% average. So that used to really, really piss me off. So if I were to ever apply to like any jobs or anything, or like graduate schools in Canada, they'd be like, well, you stupid. Because why it is your average is generally like a C. But I heard you explain to them, well, for some reason, the department thinks it's a good idea to have a 65% average for this program. I'm not really sure what they, but whatever, So going from that system to then doing my MBA in Florida under the American system, it was like completely different. It was just like, once a week they're testing you. It's a little bit more like realistic scenarios. So you never really felt as though like you were like struggling. Because in Canada, and same as like in Trinidad, all you have is a midterm and a final. You don't really have much chance to help yourself.
Okay.
Which is, I find that not really realistic, to be honest.
Very, 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 very.
Yeah, so once I did my MBA in management, I had a very, very fabulous experience. Like I was kind of a little bit of a school nerd. I was president of the Economics Association on campus, and the dean was actually, because every student association had a teacher that oversaw their activities and whatnot. So I was grateful to have the dean of the business school as my mentor, basically.
Wow.
So, being part of that program, I was able to actually host a lot of different events to teach students economics, finance, etc., like different courses, like little mini things and whatnot. But the thing though is like when you provide food, everybody just come for the pizza and there's like leave. So hardly anybody used to stay, and I'll be like, but this is for free and this is for y'all. I mean, come on, man. So that was a little frustrating. But I had one time I actually approached the dean because we were trying to think of new exciting incentives, like different ways to get the students to come out to these events. So I think I had like a bunch of ideas. So I saved the best one for last. All right. This was probably, I want to say, like 2011, 2012. So it's like a little while now, right? I told him I find that we should have an economic debate on the costs and the benefits of the legalization of marijuana. He busts out laughing in his office, and he was just like, what kind of business school would we be if we didn't host such debates? He's like, whoever it is you need for us to fly in for this, we will pay for it. And I was like, really?
And who did you fly in?
I went through like a list of like economists that pretty much were for the initiative, because there's a lot of different research and papers and articles talking about the economic benefits of legalizing it in terms of the cost, the revenues, etc., what they could put the money towards, what now we're actually starting to see for ourselves with all of these different states legalizing it.
Yes.
So if top economists like Milton Friedman, all these different people, Nobel Prize winners, there's a list of like 500 plus economists. This was like in 2010, 2012. I was looking into this, and it was nice to make it happen. Another little geeky moment that I had, I was also part of this student group called the Strategic Forum, where the school basically picked only 12 students to be a part of this forum. One Friday every month, some of the top businessmen, like presidents and CEOs of some very top companies in the United States, would host their meeting at Nova. And they invited us to basically attend these meetings. They flew us to New York and everything. I got a private tour of the Empire State Building. It was just quite an experience. All I had to do was just maintain a 3.5 GPA, which I pretty much did. I had to have an impressive resume. And I would say the New York trip really just opened up my eyes to a lot of different things. I even, roomed with one of the other females in the student group, and she and I are still very close friends, if not best friends, up to this day. So Nova was definitely just a different set of experiences, but it's about seeing the opportunities that these places and these schools have to offer and reaching out for them. There's a lot
Now,
of students complain, oh, the schools will do nothing for us, etc., etc. But you have to seek things out and you have to achieve that. You can't just lay back and expect things to just come to you.
I know they expect to be spoon fed to them, I guess.
Yeah, you
Now,
gotta.
I have a question for you. In addition to all of the academics part of your education, you also decided that you wanted to do aesthetics and medical aesthetics. And what actually brought that on?
I remember being like 19, 20 years old and still kind of unsure as to what I wanted to do with my life, just as everybody else at that age. And I remember this girl making a comment. She's like, "Oh, you look like you will be doing stuff with like pretty things and whatever, and like spa stuff." And I'm like, "Spa stuff? I guess I could check it out, see how it goes. But if I want to open a spa, I was or any business, I'm the type that I want to understand everything from like the ground up in terms of the foundation, the basics. So I was like, I want to go to beauty school and I need to learn I need to learn the system, the standards, the different procedures, etc. So therefore, when I hire staff, you can't tell me this is how it's supposed to be. I'll be like, no, this is how I want it done.
Okay, bossy.
I made sure I understood everything, and I believe the school that we went to really taught us sanitation, standard, quality. That
Ellen, what is her
see
name?
anywhere else
Ellen
in
Papalapalapadas.
yeah, with her bright red lipstick.
Oh my gosh, she was amazing. I love this woman.
Yeah, man.
She really went in and told us, like, taught us everything we needed to know about bacteria and disinfecting and what grade hospital grade stuff to use. She was an amazing lady. But I can really see where that came in. Now, in terms of the aesthetics aspect of it, what did you actually go on to do with that?
Wow. Well, as you know, part of our program essentially is what we actually had to seek out internships, and whether it be at a spa or a plastic surgeons. Well, I chose a plastic surgeon, hence why I use the example. But you could have gone wherever. So there was one in Forest Hill that I used to basically work out for a little bit to get the experience. So I really took everything into the medical aspect, how he had everything set up, etc. All the information, the things that he taught me. And then I combined that with one of our teachers. I don't know if you remember Lori from Antigua.
She's
She always looks at my hands and she's like, Krystle, what you'd be good for? And I'm like, what? She's like, micropigmentation. I was like, what's up? She's like, tattooing makeup. And I'm like, people tattoo makeup? What the hell? You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, well, let me go and check that out. So I went and checked it out, did the course and everything, did some training in Florida, etc. over the years, got advanced in the different techniques, came to Trinidad. I worked at a project management firm for about a year, saved all of my money, and basically put it towards starting my medical spa. So right now, my career is medical esthetician spa owner, and I, I wouldn't say I do much of the aesthetics. I can't tell you when last I did a manicure and a pedicure. I prefer not to do that. But when it comes to the micropigmentation, I would definitely say that is my forte because I get the most bookings for the tattooing, the microblading, the scalp, areola. Like, I have even male clients that would come and tattoo their areola because they would have lost pigmentation from chemotherapy or from different issues and whatnot. So at least it's nice to help people in that aspect as well too. And then some people, of course, do it purely for cosmetic reasons, which is fine. To each his own. What makes you happy, just do it. So yeah,
wow.
so I ended up a medical spa, and what's kind of nice though, the information that I got or that we got during our with skin, etc., that really created like a nice basis for certain things. And then when I was at Nova, I was a research assistant for a professor, so I would help her actually put together her journals and whatnot. And there actually are journals out there with my name on it because I would have some of these journals. Don't tell them I'm a real nerd already. So I knew exactly how to go to access certain information, scholarly information, actually peer reviewed, like legit stuff, not like Wikipedia and that nonsense.
Okay.
So I used to spend a lot of my free time doing research on like the link between like diabetes and carbohydrates and sugar and acne, etc., etc. So that is also where I developed the understanding of how everything we put into our bodies essentially affects our skin and our wellness and just how we are. Because I mean, everything we put into our body uses to in a sense repair or also destroy based on what you're feeding it.
Mhm.
Um, so all that information was able to help me in my fitness journey.
Yeah,
Then
I was about to get to that because you've spoken about, okay, you did economics, here you go doing medical aesthetics, but you're also on top of your game in terms of fitness and modeling and that. Well, you've been modeling forever, but the
no,
fitness aspect of it has it was something that I swear you suddenly came on because I remember you telling me I'm working out and I can't eat this because we're supposed to go out for dinner. And you're like, I can't eat this and I can't eat that. And I'm just like, what?
compared to like the Toronto days of school where I would like legit devour everything inside, literally.
Hmm.
But I just in like a time. There's times for that. Just not right now, but
So you decided to take on this fitness journey. Okay,
yeah.
it's a lot of people can say, okay, hi, hey, I want to get healthy. I've been putting a lot of shite into my body, and I want to now pay attention to what I consume and what I do. I want to work out and stuff. But then you take it a step further, and you decide, I think I want to compete. Like, what was going through your head, and why did you decide that I want to actually go and compete and shut my stuff and show my pecs?
Not my category.
I know.
Well, wow, that whole okay. So I've always really been into fitness and eating what I thought was healthy and good and whatever. I mean, trial and error over the years. I made mistakes. I did real crap. Trying to just find myself when it comes to that. And I think like one day, like something had popped up on my feed on Instagram. I think the early days of Instagram or whatnot, and I think it was like a local competition. I hadn't really quite seen the international aspect of it as yet. And what really attracted me to the sport, and I tell everybody this honestly, I find the bikinis real nice, right? It's like if that is the only way I have an excuse to have one of those, well, yeah, you know what I mean? Let's just try this competing thing and see how it goes. But unfortunately, nobody knew who to put me in contact with. My trainer at the time didn't know anything. He's like, well, I don't even know where to begin, blah, blah, blah. So I kind of like, I was kind of a little persistent, kept kind of asking around, asking around, asking around. And then someone finally put me on to the president of the federation, Susanna Haddad. So I was like, okay, let me add this lady to Facebook and see like how she is, her demeanor. Let me see, you know what I mean? Kind of check it out to see how to approach her and thing. So I did that. So, but I didn't really do anything active. I think I probably sent her a message that I'm interested, etc., etc. So I think that she reached out to me to let me know that her husband is a trainer, etc., etc., and this is come and see them and whatnot. But I still didn't really get around to it because unfortunately, but fortunately, I kind of have a little bit of a loyalty vibe now. So I had a trainer, so I say, well, can't just leave the man, you know what I mean? So
Mhm.
because how that would look, right? And something ended up kind of happening, and he had to go back to his home country for like medical reasons and whatnot. He said he'd be gone for like 2 weeks, ting. 2 weeks into 3 weeks, it's into 4 weeks, it's into, and I'm there like, okay, it's getting towards April. I would like to do this juniors thing, whatever it is in June. I don't really have much time. The man don't really know how to pose. He don't know who I should talk to. Nothing. So a friend of mine kept insisting to go and talk to Susie and Perry. Ting. So I said, okay, let me just go down and check it out, see how it is, whatnot. So
Mhm.
went, had a conversation, started training. And within 2 weeks, I started seeing a lot of changes. I was just like, well, all right, fine. And, but I don't think they took me seriously, and I know they watch it.
What sort of changes you started seeing?
Because he was like, so you're just coming to train with me just for juniors and you go on? And I'm like, well, no. I mean, I train him. So
What sort of changes you started seeing?
Within 2 weeks of just tweaking my diet a little bit, because he was like, you need to just cut out all the sugar and all the carbs for right now. So I was like, oh, I figured so, I figured so, because you have to listen to your body, right? The other trainer had me eating so much carbs that I actually started picking up viruses and getting sick and things. And I'd be like, something not feeling right, because I normally don't get sick. And then it was weird. Like, I mean, I never get sick. I hardly get sick because of what carbohydrates and sugars tend to do to the body. It breaks down the immune system. It's like a vicious cycle. So therefore, it kind of makes you more susceptible to these things. So in the 2 weeks, I started seeing the changes, and I think I had only 6 weeks with him before my first show, right? But I mean, everything was, the training, the diet, I sucked it, etc., etc. Didn't know what the hell I was doing with the posing and whatnot. So that first show, when I look back at the videos, I was just there like, my God, what I was doing. But you know what? I did it with confidence.
Mm-hmm.
I did it, and I was like, you know what? Just had a rocket either way. I'm just gonna just do this, right? So, I was surprised as hell when I won. I was like, really, okay, but because I didn't know what they were looking for at the time, you know what I mean? So they had one girl there, she was like way more ripped out than me. So I was like, nah, well, I for sure second place, So so yeah, I was very surprised when I won. I enjoyed the experience, and I just kind of kept with it. I went to Toronto probably like a couple of weeks after that. I didn't really understand anything. Ate, and I gained 7 pounds in 1 week. Legit, that's how much I could put it on, right? I put on 7 pounds in 1 week. I am not lying. So I just decided to sit out the second competition. I was like, you know what? Let me just do things at my own pace, take my time, etc. And they allowed me to do so. So it's my life. I just feel like, I mean, I'm doing this almost 2 years now, and you can't slip. You really can't. I mean, it's very hard to get back to a certain conditioning. Because, I mean, I don't like to use the word size or anything, because people will be like, what the hell is wrong with you? Yeah. So it's like, well, to a certain conditioning.
I want to know what your daily routine is like. So take through your morning from the time you get out of bed to the time you go back to bed.
Wow. Okay. I rally, so I usually up by like 5:30 ish. 5:30, 5:30, 6. Whatever time the sun comes up, I am up, because I rise with the sun. Right. I would probably eat something very small, like just a very like one egg or something, and then I would do an hour of cardio. Right, and then I would eat. Then I go to work, after work I would go on train, or if I can get away from work, I would go on train, do cardio again, and then later on in the evening, sometimes I might go back to work, and then later on in the evening I will do cardio again. And
so that's 3 times?
Sometimes 2 to 3 times a day, yes. But these days 2, because I'm so tired after the 1 hour in the morning. It's really hard to do another one. But I really just kind of just more do it when I'm getting a little bit closer to a show. But that is my routine either way. I somehow, in first thing in the morning, I love waking up and doing cardio first thing in the morning. That's just like my time. The sun is rising. Everybody's pretty much still asleep. It's very quiet. It's very peaceful. There's no traffic. So
wow. Okay, now what do you eat while you're doing all of this? Because you all I heard you say was 1 egg. What exactly do you eat?
I just eat the 1 egg before the cardio, because they would prefer that I eat something, instead of doing the fasted cardio thing. So just 1 egg, and then after that I'll probably eat like half a chicken breast. I eat like 6 to 7 times a day. I eat a lot.
Okay.
But just small portion, but I definitely eat a lot. I just eat mostly protein, green green veggies. I mean, sometimes I might have a little other like carrots or something, but very like hardly. Just water. No juice, no fruits, no. I don't drink alcohol. I only drink alcohol apparently for Carnival Monday and Tuesday, and my birthday and for weddings. I have this rule of that. And
Okay.
maybe Las Vegas, if like off season, like when I don't have anything to come and I can just sleep in the next day, I will drink then. Other than that, no.
You mentioned water. How much water do you consume in a day?
About a gallon or more.
Which is why I'll just let you guys know that Krystle might have to rush off to, to use the bathroom.
Yes, I am trying my best to stay here and not have to go to the bathroom, even though I do have to, but not that bad. I can wait.
So you
But
drink.
I drink like a gallon or a little bit more than a gallon a day.
Wow. Wow. If you're just tuning in, you're listening to, you're locked into Cacoa. We're here with Krystle Khan, who is a bikini and fitness model out of Trinidad and Tobago. If you are on right now, hit share on the link so that someone else can get in on the conversation with us. We're getting some interaction from some of our viewers. Lily, Laura, Moise Hillier is saying, lots of interesting information. Really enjoying this show so far. So we have a few folks like Martina is saying hello, Kanisha is saying hello. A lot of folks are on there. Don't forget, if you like to ask questions, ask them early o'clock so she
Yeah,
can actually
ask the
answer.
question. Now is the time for me to reveal all.
so so go ahead and ask your question because don't wait till the end of the show. What sometimes happens is that people have questions and then they send me messages and they ask me questions about things that they should have asked. Then I am not the expert. I just have a mouth and that's it. I can't really tell you anything in terms of her daily routine or what she eats or what he shouldn't eat or whatever
And what you eat
it
affects your
is.
skin.
So it's go. Say
What
that
you eat,
again.
what you eat affects your skin, and it's funny how so many people just will not. They just don't want to understand that.
Give me a little example. I know where you're going to with that, but just give me a little example of what you eat affects your skin.
Sugar, sugar feeds acne. Yep, a lot of sugar.
Look at her. She's like, yup.
Yeah,
And you
no,
don't
because
think
seeing any medical aesthetics and just seeing and just observations and I'm making my own little hypotheses of everything that's happening. It's like pretty much like sugar, alcohol, even myself included. When I start to eat crap or like a lot of sugar, ice cream, etc., my face breaks out and it's crazy. And then when I clean it up, my diet, my face is fine and I don't break out. I don't have any marks on my skin. It's yeah. So people see
now
themselves with me as the example.
you mentioned you don't eat fruits.
No,
Why is that?
sugar. Yeah. I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes right now is mango season and the starch mango is driving me mad. And if I see one, I probably might eat it. But I have not seen that in my house at home, and I'm not gonna buy it. So I might just have the mango. I might if I see it. But
If you see it.
not supposed to. I'm just letting him know because I know he's watching. So.
Jarell is asking a question here. She's saying, interesting stuff. How much sleep do you get per night and how do you stay motivated?
Everybody's called me sleeping bantam. I legit would sleep because I'm so tired at least 7 to 8 hours a night.
Wow.
And I wake up like naturally. So it's not to say an alarm would wake me up. So I guess when my body is ready to wake up, it wakes up and it usually on average is about 8, sometimes 9 hours. I've been known to sleep for 12 hours already. I've done that. I've done
Wow.
that many times. I would knock out at like 5 p.m. and then wake up at like 6 a.m. And I'd be like, wow, okay, yeah. Yeah.
Wow. And how do you stay motivated?
Ah, um, just I mean, I guess my fans and the people that like tend to message and reach out and ask questions, and they tell me that I motivate them, and so those little things. And then my sponsors, the fact that I was able to achieve this much so far, it kind of motivates me to keep it together, so at least I can continue to get the sponsorship. And then it's just something I enjoy. It's If I don't do it, I feel the effects of not working out. You get sluggish, you get tired. I find I have more energy. I feel better, and it's become a habit, and it is something that I made sure to just kind of just keep forcing every day, because it was hard for me too in the beginning. I couldn't run to save my life. I couldn't run at all. But every night when I lived in Florida, I would run on my compound just to build to the point now, like I am sprinting upstairs and doing all these crazy things, and people be like, what the hell? And I'm like, don't worry, and you will get it one day. You just have to just keep doing it. I was a beginner once, the same way, just like a lot of people are. So you have to just stick to it, be consistent, and just keep telling yourself it will come one day. You have to just tell yourself that, because nothing happens overnight in anything that we do in life.
Do you work out every day, like
I
Sunday to
do
Sunday?
every day. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I actually want a little bit of cardio after this interview before I eat my last meal for the night. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
How hard or easy is it to actually compete?
To compete,
Yes.
this is definitely one of the most difficult things I have ever done in my life in terms of discipline. Because my world revolves around food. It always has. And for me to make a complete 360 and give up a lot of these different things to do this, it's that is difficult with the diet for sure. You have to give up your social life. You have to choose. It's very, very hard to try to do both, even though I do try, but I'm tired. It's the pressure of just people, because I come from a drinking culture, so the pressure with that, it just makes it even harder to socialize, because I feel like I don't have that many people that understand, so you tend to be lonely to some extent, unless you find like-minded individuals who are kind of all part of the same mission, in a sense, not as extreme as me. But it helps when I do have a friend who's on that same specific mission, or somebody who really truly understands, because at the end of the day, like, this is something I want to continue to do for some time, and it's either you fit with my program, or you get out. So it's hard. It's
Now,
hard.
now, competing, you are considered a petite model. Um, Tell us about some of your challenges, because you're not very tall. So, tell us some. First of all, how tall are you?
I'm 5'1".
You don't do like me, 5'2 3/4".
I used to do that, but you know what? It don't make any sense. I'm actually embracing being tiny. I love it. I really don't feel like I'm tiny at all. You know what I mean? I don't know what people see when they're looking at me, but when I just looking out generally, I dig. So yeah. When I first started, it was hard. It was hard. I mean, um, but I mean, to be honest, what a lot of people don't really understand is that modeling has so many different markets, and it's different worlds. So of course I would never fit the high fashion, what they call the high fashion modeling. However, the one thing that I always used to get called for was swimsuit modeling. So it's kind of ironic that I ended up being a bikini athlete.
Mm-hmm.
So I just basically found my niche on my look per se. So it would be mostly print. I did a lot of print. I did a couple of runway, but not no big high fashion shows or anything, but a lot of print editorials, shots, advertisements, stuff like that. So at the end of the day, I mean, where it didn't height wasn't a factor, it really didn't stop me from achieving a lot of different things I have.
Now, I must say, like, even looking at your pictures, some of your pictures, because like you always post stuff of your work on your Instagram, especially, and no one would ever guess you're only 5'1" because you carry yourself tall, and
Yeah.
the way you stand, you look real long, and you could have fooled anybody into you look like you're at least 6 feet and you're only 5'1". How are you actually able to actually create that look? You know, like go out there and stand tall and look tall.
Uh to
Or is it
look
Photoshop?
I look tall because I have tall people proportions. I'm just a tall person, a small person body, apparently, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, apparently. That's why I look tall in pictures because I always get the when I show up for a modeling gig. You look a lot taller in pictures. Yeah, I guess, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So we just have to do everything with confidence, like literally with you have to just go out there and just do it, give it your all, even if you're nervous, you have to just bring it. You have to just bring it. So you can't let anything stop. You can't let a couple people that tell you nah, you're this, you're that. You can't let anybody tell you no. Because you know what? You might get 5 no's, but you might get 1 yes.
Very true. Very,
Right?
very true. Very, very, very true.
You can't give up because what you may not be a look, that for somebody, but at least for somebody else, whether in anything that you do. So,
Real talk. If you could actually change one thing in your life, Krystle, one thing, what would it be and why?
nothing, not a thing. Can I tell you, like, I am honestly, truly grateful for all of my life experiences because everything that has happened to me that I've experienced has led me to where I am now in my life.
Mhm.
So there's nothing that I would change. There's nothing I would change about myself. There's nothing I would have changed about my past. I'm truly happy, and I tell the universe that on a daily basis. Thank you for the life that I have been given. Because you have to show gratitude.
Is there a fun Krystle, like a crazy fun Krystle?
Yeah, there is, So I think the competing kind of keeps me in check. So, because I will while out a little too much. Those that know me, yeah. Yeah, no,
No,
there's a
no.
Krystle, but she only comes out sometimes now. This is not a every weekend kind of thing anymore. So yeah.
Now you're invited to a birthday party. What do you drink at the birthday party? What do you eat at the birthday party? Or do you just don't eat or don't drink?
But it depends on the time of year. It depends. So I mean, if I'm in prep mode, I will just drink water, and I will just eat my own food because chances are they're not gonna be catering to anybody like me. There's always pastries and strippiness. But if I am able to do these things, I will eat everything at the birthday party, right? I will eat everything. And I don't know, I guess it depends on the drink that they have. My drink of choice these days is champagne because it's really bitter. I love brut. I like bitter. I don't like sweet drinks at all. And I like the tartness and the bubbly and the one, and I drunk after one. So I mean, it has spent much money on me.
She's like, I'm a cheap date.
Yeah, it's just
Are,
one.
are you are you single?
Yeah, I am. I am.
It's funny because
Friend.
throughout our friendship, our years of friendship, this is the longest you've been single.
Yes. Yes. Right? 3 years.
OMG.
3 years. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. So she's single, guys. Her social media handles are up top. Do you get like DMs of people asking you like random things, or
Of
like
course.
guys asking you out and stuff? How do you respond, or do you respond?
If they're asking like a question about fitness stuff and supplements, I think I will respond. But like if you're gonna I'm not gonna give anybody any false hope. and reply, and because yeah, I've made the mistake of saying thank you to some of them, and they just kept going with the conversation, and like it's just I try not to anymore, because a couple bad apples spoil it for everybody. So
Oh, that's sad.
yeah, I'm a little terrified to open any messages where you see like image to download and things. So no.
What boy?
Yeah.
Now you're scheduled to go on tour competing soon. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, my first show will be in Mexico City at the end of July. So this will be my second international show, and I'm really, really pushing for this one. So this basically will be, I think, like Central America and the Caribbean, different countries in the Caribbean and Central America that'll be taking part. I'm assuming maybe some other international athletes as well. So it's definitely going to be a nice experience. But I definitely do enjoy it because being around the international athletes, it really makes you step up your game to
Hmm.
see what is out there.
Hmm.
So that will be, well, the second one, and then I have a couple others that I have planned later on in the year, of course, depending on like finances and scheduling and a couple different things as well too. So to try to like budget myself accordingly, because I would like to do a few more. Just
Why why is it important to you to compete? Because you could just say, okay, I want to be fit. I take pictures, you know. Why is it important for you to compete?
uh just there's, I guess it's a, I really like those bikinis. I just really like them.
You are such a mess. You're like, um,
Yeah, it's not really the same if you just have it on and doing a photo shoot or taking pictures. I wanna like walk the stage, and you get to look like a Barbie doll for like an hour. Yeah, the hair, the makeup, and the jewelry, the
you get
spray
to keep
tan,
everything.
and you just get to be like a pretty little princess for like an hour. And I'm usually not like that at all. Like I'm so not girly with the dressing up and anything. So yeah, man, that's the only time you probably really would see me looking like that.
Do you get to keep everything?
Of course, it's mine.
She's like, that's why I compete because I get to keep everything, including the bikinis.
Yeah, it's mine. The earrings, the shoes, the bikini, everything. Yeah. Everything.
Wow. Krystle, we're about to wrap up the show. If you have any questions for Krystle, it's your time to actually shoot it, or is your last opportunity to shoot your question for her. If you're just logging in, don't forget to share the link, hit share so that someone else can get on. If you've completely missed the entire interview, you can come back on my page and you will be able to view it. If not, for viewing, you can actually listen to the podcast in 24 hours. That's on my website. That's jaeljoseph.com/PLOG. Krystle, it has been, an absolute pleasure, having you here
Uh,
with me. I remember when I asked you if you'd be on the show, you're like, of course, can we talk shit?
yes.
Can we talk stupidness?
Yeah, man. We didn't talk as much stupidness as we usually do, but it's okay. Nobody needs to know every little detail about everything. And I would let you know I survived the hour without having to go to the bathroom. So
I know you so did. I can see you wiggling a little bit, though.
I did it.
Yes, you did. I want to congratulate you on all your achievements,
Thank
thus far.
you.
And I just want to say thank you for being a friend and always being there and always reaching out. And, I know we're going to see each other soon in a couple of weeks. So I'm excited.
Yes. Very
I'm
excited.
excited for that. And just thanks for all that you do and just keep doing it. You are an amazing young woman. Limitless skies. You can definitely do a lot more. You've done so much in such a short space of time in your life. And of course you keep doing it, and now you're on the road where your focus is on health and wellness and fitness and all of that. I have no doubt you'll live long because you I guess you've got the recipe to live long, right?
Well, we I guess we'll see how that goes, right? We'll definitely see how that goes. So
Yes. Thank you so very much for being on with me here on Cacoa Tea.
thank
Uh,
you for having me.
I
It was
really
nice. It was fun. It was a lot. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
I really appreciate it. And of course, continue to do your stuff, man. And all the best in your competition in Mexico. I suspect you'll do very well. I suspect you will.
That is the plan. That is the plan. So
No doubt about that.
yes.
Um, Guys, thank you so much to all of you who tuned in today. Sometimes people are a little timid; they don't like to ask too many questions and stuff. Sometimes they do.
We got some good questions and some
Yeah,
good reactions and whatnot. So everyone's
we
pretty
did,
much.
we did. And of course, people continue to share the videos. I'm very grateful to all of the fans. Thanks very much. Oh, thanks. Someone said I had a nice, like my lipstick color. Thanks, Elon, for that. But thank you very much, guys, for continuing to support Kako Tea and, of course, myself. I really appreciate it. The next show is counted for this coming weekend. We have, no, actually, there's no show this weekend. It's because this next weekend is Mother's Day weekend. Yeah, so
That is next weekend.
yeah, so yeah, and I'm a mom, so I ain't doing nothing, but I want to stuff So the next show is actually on the 19th of May, and we will have a young man from St. Kitts will be on the next Kako Tea. He's actually from St. Kitts, but he's based right now in Taiwan. So time difference and all of that stuff. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And don't forget to keep sharing the link and keep tuning in to Kako Tea. I just want to remind you, when you're drinking your Kako Tea, just make sure it's nice and hot. Keep it nice and hot so it keeps your chest nice and warm all the time. Krystle, it was a pleasure. Thanks again for being on. Thank you very much. And see you soon. We'll see you soon. All the best. To you, to everyone else. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time.